Well. We want to start off with the video, The Witches of Mordwick.
Yes, we do, but a disclaimer that this video, for some reason, the longer it goes on, the less synced up it becomes.
Beautiful.
Roughly 70 witches, roughly 70 bastarding witches. Yeah, Samantha Stevens from Bewitched, and Dora from Bewitched. Willow Rosenberg from Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Tara McGlade from Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Amy Madison from Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Bonnie Bennett from the Vampire Diaries. Sabrina Spellman from Sabrina the Teenage Witch. Chill Adventures of Sabrina. Zelda Spellman from Sabrina the Teenage Witch. Roughly 70 witches, sorry, 70 bastarding witches. Christy Long Tawny with bits of filthy bowled up socks. Wanda Maximoff, Scarlet Witch from Marvel Universe. Glinda the Good Witch from The Wizard of Oz. The Wicked Witch of the West from The Wizard of Oz. Hermione Granger from Harry Potter. Cho Chang from Harry Potter. Bellatrix Lestrange from Harry Potter. Professor Minerva McGonagall from Harry Potter. Morgana Pendragon from Merlin. Arthurian legend. Rowena McLeod from Supernatural. 70 witches, every 70 bastarding witches.
Brilliant. Play some more of that later. Don't let me forget. So,
Integrate it through.
integrate it. So, do you want to say Stars of Stage and Screen, or do you want to say the thing about them?
I think I want to say the thing
Okie dokie.
as the
Stars,
volume.
Stars of Stage and Screen.
Her home is both house and chicken.
Stars of Stage and Screen.
Baba Yaga lives in a chicken leg RV.
Stars of Stage and Screen.
Crotchbags is the bestest witch in the world.
Stars of Stage and Screen.
Wicked witch melts from common plain water.
Stars of Stage and Screen.
Fenella Feloric boils in her kettle-shaped hair. Blur.
Stars of Stage and Screen.
La Befana viene notte con le scarpe tutte rotte. Uses a softly glowing broomstick, damp.
Stars of Stage and Screen.
Panuchka rides a flying coffin surfboard style.
Stars of Stage and Screen.
Yubaba runs a bathhouse like a mob boss.
She certainly does. We don't have the David Seven fact file music, do we?
We should do
Do.
possibly,
Where is it?
depending on the size of the file and whether it will let me send it to you now.
Stars of Stage and Screen.
These are the bits the audience don't usually get to see.
No, I'm sending you this file because I think it's better than me showing spoiling all the sketches. Um, I'm just going to send it to you.
There you go.
And if your mention house needs haunting. So if I send you this file, then we don't have to share our screen the whole time, right? Only when it's necessary. So you have a look at that, Doc. However, I am going to
Recording.
I am going to share my screen. We're doing it in real time, aren't we?
Yes. All of this is happening for the audience's,
Riveted.
I guess, pleasure.
David 7 fact file, it's a fucking David 7 fact file.
David 7 fact file. Here is the paragraph on Fenella Feloric. This is a dishonorable mention, number one. This isn't my first witch, but this is one of the dishonorable witches. Fenella Feloric, better known as Kettle Witch, the main antagonist of 1970s British stop-motion animation Charlton on the Wheelies. A sharp-voiced witch with a strong Welsh accent, she lives alone in a giant kettle-shaped lair called Spout Hall on the gloomy outskirts of Wheelie World. Her driving purpose is absolute. She hates happiness and schemes. You have to imagine I'm a computer right now. Um, Fenella uses teleportation, magic spells, and a team of peculiar helpers, including the talking spellbook Claptrap from Spilled Beans and the one-eyed dragon called, or the one-eyed telescope called O'Reilly, to destroy the joy. She does. I'll show you a video in a minute. To destroy the joy of wheelies and their protector Charlton and the happiness dragon. Although her plans always fail, her presence defines the show's central contrast between mirth and misery. Fenella remains a cult figure, I beg your pardon, of British children's television, a comically bitter witch forever boiling in her own kettle of gloom.
What a bitch.
Are you familiar with Fenella and Charlton and the Wheelies?
No, and she also did not make it onto the list of 70 witches that I asked Chatbot to provide.
I'm hoping. All right, I've
Well,
watched a little bit of clip of it there already.
I know. What? I know. Oh, teenage temper. That's stupid.
Hoping to see her pop through the floor because one of the best things about Fenella is that to save money on the stop motion animation, they made her like vanish through the floor the whole time because basically if she vanishes here and then pops back up here, they don't have to animate all the bits in between. So it was
that's
classic.
pretty.
And just that really angry Welsh woman. So it's brilliant.
Yeah,
She's my first witch.
I like that setting, and I like the United Nations sort of elements of the characters. I like that Irish telescope a lot.
O'Reilly. Anyway,
Yeah, good witch. And all of the witches I will be providing. I did notice when I was thinking about it last night that my witches seem to be more generic, just women, and your witches are more like fun, mythological witches.
all of my
Really
witches are
generally
wild,
just powerful
fantastical.
women.
Yes. Well, it's good to have those differences to show the range of witches that are out there. But let's switch
Indeed,
to our avatars and then we can do the first sketch, right?
precisely. Shall
These
Rodriguez.
avatars don't match the actual characters that we're playing, but you'll just have to imagine.
I disagree.
15 and 20 arrive at the edge of Green Man's territory, an aggressively quiet wall of moss and repurposed spaceship hull.
Rod Hull.
Aggressive silence, overpriced serenity. D7 was in the salt circle, efficient. Now he's a hostage to the Green Man. This is a catastrophic hit to our media research metrics.
The Green Man bypassed certified law. He stole D7 off of Flimsy and Nightwing. We need D7 back. This quiet is unstreamable.
A
That was
harsh
the
crackle.
amendment.
A harsh crackle cuts through the silence, followed by a low hum from the wall. Thermal regulation is suboptimal. Green Man is serving me room temperature data. Do not refer to me as a computer. Batshit Dave 7 rude. Who said that? That low frequency hum we can hear is D7's raw administrative passive aggression, a shield. I feel the pure judgment.
Right. We pierce the frustration barrier. The AAA brute force maneuver. Take two. Plus a meta-narrative disruption Ariana grenade.
26 pulls a tennis ball out of his you-know-what with end scene taped to it. This looks like a terrible streaming service. 26 charges the wall, throwing the grenade. 15 is bored, flashes his existential dread sign. Bzzz, the walls repel. The tennis ball hits 26's face. The sign hits 15's feet. Even the fourth wall rejects your low-budget tactics, 20. Physical absurdity is blocked.
Ugh. We need someone who traffics in this level of irrational nonsense. Someone who can sell us the keys to a logic trap.
I mean, the only person who accepts payment in mismatched socks and vague feelings of doom, the one who understands that selling a cursed shovel as a solution package is a functional business model. I didn't make that reference. That was a chatbot reference.
Indeed. Nice. I'm hearing he's gone to Baba Yaga.
Oh my goodness, iron nose, bony leg, let's go. I need a nap before she tries to sell me a hot. I beg your pardon.
I beg your pardon.
15 and 26, turn and exit quickly. Peep follows. End scene.
Peep being.
I think Peep is the name of their pet cloud.
I see. As if, so the clouds have a pet cloud. That seems a bit
That was established, I believe, in the
diffy.
last episode.
David 7 fact file, it's a fucking David 7 fact file. David.
Uh,
The Vivitch.
the Vervitch. Do you want to read that, David 7? Go ahead.
Yes. The Witch of the Wood. The Forest Witch in Robert Eggers. The Witch is both destroyer and deliverer. She steals a baby, hexes a family, and basically ruins everyone's life. But she also, spoilers, awakens Thomasin, Anya Taylor-Joy in her film debut, to her own powers, so it's not all bad. It might be worth mentioning now that any TV show we talk about is going to be spoiled.
Yes, and we're talking about witches in this episode because it's a Halloween fake live special.
Oh yes, would you like to... I'm still a cow. Would you like to listen to a bit more of 70 Witches?
You're damn right I would.
Rest in peace, BG Fish Fiona Good from American Horror Story. Coven Madison Montgomery from American Horror Story. Coven Myrtle Snow from American Horror Story. Coven Maury LeBeau from American Horror Story. Coven Queenie from American Horror Story. Coven Winifred Sanderson from Hocus Pocus. Sarah Sanderson from Hocus Pocus. Mary Sanderson from Hocus Pocus. Gillian Owens from Practical Magic. Sally Owens from Practical Magic. The Grand High Witch from The Witches by Roald Dahl. The White Witch Jadis from The Chronicles of Narnia. Witch Marge from The Simpsons Treehouse of Horror. The Charm Sisters, Prue Piper, Phoebe Page from Charm. Grot Bags from Rod Hull and Emu. It's not the biggest of feet. The Grot Bag Show. Lovely 70 witches. Lovely 70 bastarding witches. Have you ever seen an Emmy with 3 bloody feet? Cammy Cooper from Super.
Play the rest later. Brilliant. Have you ever
Indeed.
is the question that we need to ask ourselves. But first off, echoes on the Trouble Belt.
Oh, I apologise, I thought I was the cow. Situated right on the furious border of the Trouble Belt, I am 2612626. Moo.
And I am 1561414. We're the holographic phantoms of Tupac, ABBA, Whitney Ho Ho Houston, and Asa Bass.
And a cow and a fox. Accompanied by our mascot, Ethereal Cloud Peep. Oh, there he is.
We eavesdrop on the gossiping radio waves of the ether.
We sincerely made a quantum jump straight to Earth.
Absolutely.
And we tried to pilfer some discs, but D7 has gone missing.
What in the streaming cosmos? Didn't we leave him behind in the Salt Circle last episode?
And Green Man has nabbed him, I believe.
Oh, the Earthlings refer to us as spoilers, Dave Maude 8.
Batshit, Dave 7, rude.
Tonight's visitor in the holographic parlor, a clandestine sensation of stage and screen, identity undisclosed. Spoiler, it's witches.
One more sector of the cosmic latrice.
Your
Reached.
thanks are adequate.
Let's tech scout. Initialize your containment field, clone clouds V8.6, and permit us to view the holodeck.
Jellyfish mode activated.
Slither down the serpentine passage. Beg your pardon.
You do this one. Do it like an envelope.
Indeed! The champions are the future androids who may well be the same two personalities so far into the future that they have completely neglected the human existence. Who broadcast that?
Who broadcast that? That's a question for the ages, isn't it?
It certainly is. Now what happens?
Now we are playing a little bit more David 7 Fact File.
7 fact file, it's a
Our baby coven. The coven is a secret satanic cult led by Roman and Minnie Castevet, whose influential membership spans medicine, politics, and the art. Their singular goal is to facilitate the birth of the Antichrist by having Rosemary carry and birth a child of Satan. The plan is to enable Rosemary's husband Guy, who trades his wife's body and soul for career boost. The coven controls Rosemary through drugging, herbal remedies like tannish root, and relentless manipulation. Ultimately, the coven succeeds, spoiler, and Rosemary gives birth to the Antichrist, a boy with the eyes of Satan. The fictional coven taps into societal fears about witchcraft prevalent when the story was written.
Beautiful.
Have you seen
So
that film?
all of this on screen is visible.
Yeah,
I see.
it was. It's gone now. Yeah,
So yes, witches.
I didn't need to show that bit, but it doesn't matter. You got a little bit of a peek behind the curtain. Witches, yeah.
Is this what's the format? What happens? Is there
No, because that's just like they're just like fact file witches that are like they're not my main ones. But if you want to talk about everything you can, like Rosemary's Baby, for example, don't really think of it as a witch movie, but they are a coven of witches, and it's up there as one of the best.
I agree. I also wouldn't say they were too witchy because they're not really powerful witches. I'd say they're more witch enthusiasts.
They do
They don't
raise
really
Satan.
do, yeah, but they don't really do any magic, which is a key point, or witchcraft, really. That's just a bag. Like you don't have to be a witch to do that. You just have to
No
have a good
re
rosemary, I guess.
relationship with Satan.
Yes,
No,
on
but
board.
that's why I like it a lot because they're clearly it's a very, very sneaky and spooky kind of thing. And that's like if you see the witches in Suspiria as well, where it's like you don't find out for quite a while that it's that the ballet school, spoiler, is a witch's coven,
Indeed.
right? You ever,
Also, the movie Weapons.
oh, that's a brand new spoiler.
Spoiler. Well, it's not really a
Right.
spoiler so much. It's witch based.
All right.
So that's nice.
So many witches. One of the things that we witches have gone through kind of a lot of ups and downs, haven't they, over the years of being like very feared, actually feared in society, through to being kind of like almost comedic. And then, of course, occasionally they'll come back in their scary form, like the Vivitch. And of course, then we have real, beautiful, real world witches who are doing all kinds of, beautiful magic to make the world a better place.
Indeed, Stevie Nicks. It's
Even Hicks is a witch.
of course she is. It's a well-known fact.
Oh, good Lord. I'm not going to Google that. It's not like we've
It's
just said it live.
Helen Lovejoy is a witch. No, I think that's an endearment situation. She is proud to be a witch, I believe,
Okay,
or
brilliant.
associated with being a head witch. Yeah, they're not as scary as they used to be. They used to be sincerely um like real world feared, which is insane. Um, that you could be murdered in front of a group of people because they thought you were a witch seems quite wild. And to say it was only happening in the 1950s.
Well, that was the end of it, wasn't it? But it was still going on. I mean, still to this day in parts of the world, to be honest. But we're trying to keep this light. This is about
Indeed.
fictional fun witches. But yeah, the history of
Are you now, or have
actual
you ever been a witch?
that's on the card on the way, isn't it? Card on the way in. The what's his name? I was looking into James the First, the first James, King of Scotland, but the sixth, first of England, sixth of Scotland, same guy. He wrote a book about demonology, and he also is famous for the King James's Bible, which is the first English copies of the Bible. So, unless that's not true, but that they're going hand in hand. That's 300 years ago, isn't it? When it was hand in hand that demons were very much real, as was Jesus, and now we don't believe any of that's real.
Exactly. God is gone. It's
but it was a lot of fun.
it was fun, except if you were a witch.
Oh, back
Um,
then, no, that was not it wasn't fun for many people, but it was very much unfun for witches. The Pendle witches popped up, of course, in this because they're one of the most famous groups of English witches, and they're not far from the hometown of Wigan Town.
Indeed.
Um,
There's also, I'd say, witches are scary to children if done successfully,
oh,
but you don't really get a lot of scary horror real witches anymore. With yes, the Vivitch being an exception.
The Vivitch is far and away, and even the Blur, but you don't see the Blur witch that much, or the Oasis witch. So
Exactly. They're more based on the witches you see, the witches that I will specifically be discussing briefly, like the ones who it's scary because they're powerful, as opposed to like the spooky or evil
Ah,
or
yeah, minor comedy slash scary folk myth tales, like you said, and yours are essentially, I imagine, Buffy characters,
yes,
though I don't know who they are. But
indeed.
um, Avatar time. I can't think for a second this is going to work, but it's a fun way it lasts, isn't it? It's a fun experiment, a witch experiment. Um, Scene opens the Green Man. An immense moss-covered figure is surprisingly nimble, sprinting through the dense forest. He awkwardly cradles D7's processor unit, which is emitting a faint, angry hum. Rrrr. This acceleration is uncalibrated. I am experiencing unacceptable lateral G-forces. I demand immediate deployment of stabilizer fins. Rude.
You'll never take me alive, you bastards.
Oh, the Green Man's there. This is an unacceptable cardio expenditure. I'm fitting. He stole our asset. We are running around like a desperate Tomorrow's World presenter who has lost his hoverboard.
Calm down, 15. He's just a forest doofus. Look at that gait. It's like a particularly aggressive episode of Bodger and Badger. We need a shortcut. Peep, channel your inner Twin Peaks giant. Show us the path. Take us through the floorboards.
The Green Man leaps in a ditch. D7's unit flows red with distress.
Bobby, yeah, you there, Ivy, got summat for ye.
I detect a temporary data spike. The Green Man's emotional matrix registered a brief moment of triumph. The lack of emotional stability is a threat to my storage protocols. The Green Man
Oh,
trips
slip.
slightly,
Oh,
his mossy form emitting a frustrated, silent whoosh of annoyance.
whoosh. I'm gonna get this rusty walkie-talkie out and a fact that wasn't essential. He's taking shortcuts. It's a crystal maze lock-in. 15. We need to think outside the zone.
A crackle of static emanates from D7's processor in the Green Man's arms. It's not D7, but a distant, irritated female voice. It's Baba Yaga, oh my goodness.
Babsy Ags.
Derek, come here. You better be good for it, you overgrown fern, and you bring that noisy metal box straight to the RV. I haven't forgotten that pond scum in my cauldron. You're a liability. Oh my goodness, I'm back to Fideen now. He's trading D7 for some archaic, poorly maintained artifact. This is a bad faith negotiation. I'm going to demand a full refund on principle.
Baba Yaga. The cosmic bitchy hostess route. This is incredible. Peep, route us to the chicken-legged space RV manor. Think still game levels of local knowledge. Everything's just
Pete,
mixing into one for chatbot now, isn't it?
Heap zips ahead, leaving a trail of shimmering ethereal dust that forms a crude, wobbly arrow pointing left. Oh my goodness. All right, let's retrieve our asset before he's traded for a collection of novelty mugs or worse, forced to participate in blind date episode with a gnome. The sheer inefficiency of this quest is appalling. The thought of D7 being matched to a creature based on a compatibility survey overseen by an eternal hologram of Cilla Black is the most financially unsound horror I can imagine.
Exactly. It's like a cosmic episode of The Goodies Gone Wrong. Not anymore now, he's a baddie. Come on, 15. We've got the we've got the low budget effects, the non-stop running, and a plot driven entirely by absurdity. Like their infamous Kitten Kong episode. This is peak British chaotic comedy. Bill Oddie comes in like a bearded Catherine Wheel.
They accelerate in the direction Pete pointed, the chaotic sound of the chase fading as they head towards the next bizarre encounter with Bradley Old Man Walsh.
Indeed. 70 Witches.
Let's do another D7 and then some 70 witches. Chicken leg. Chicken leg hot. Why don't you do this David 7 one?
Aye, I can see
Oh
it
no,
here.
hold on. No. This is my first witch. So let's play some more 70 witches and then I'll tell you about my first witch and you can talk about yours as well.
Super Mario series, Rita Repulsa from Power Rangers, Nancy Downs from The Craft, Sarah Bailey from The Craft, Marnie Piper from Halloween Town, Aggie Cromwell from Halloween Town, Suki Ridgemont from The Witches of Eastwick, Alexandra Mefford from The Witches of Eastwick, Jane Spofford from The Witches of Eastwick. Oh! Lovely 70 witches, lovely 70 bastarding witches. What have you done today to make you Sarah Wiggum? The witch from the V-Vitch, Siam Fishery from Drag Race Philippines, Slays and Royale.
Beautiful. This is the Vivitch, the beautiful young Vivitch, isn't she? She's a
Yes, that's
tempter.
the mock Vivitch, if you will.
Do you think that's not her real form? It's probably not, is it?
No, I think you see her real form in the barn, don't you? When she's
All right.
she's a proper traditional looking hag witch, which is
Tragovitch.
great.
It is great. It's to lean into that to say, well, she can change her form, but she decides to stay in that form. Good on you. Good on you,
Witches
guys.
became too beautiful over time. I miss hags.
Well, the thing is that if you can change your shape, you might play around with that a little bit. But yeah, there's been a lot of cute witches, and especially, I think I blame the Wizard of Oz for setting that off by having a very, you know, like
The
a
scariest witch
beautiful
of all
witch.
time.
Scary witch. Well, she's one of mine. Spoiler. It's like it's the most obvious witch, but she's my Vivitch.
Cheers.
But do you want to go first with your Vivitch? Who's your first choice?
My first easy choice, and there's not really a great deal to say, is just the Buffy witches, obviously. Let's get them out of the way now, which is specifically Willow and Tara, and then the side witch Amy, who becomes a rat, which is quite a
Oh,
fun thing. They think that there's an episode where the mothers of town get sort of like hypnotized by a Hansel and Gretel demon,
all
and they
right.
start accusing everybody of being witches, but they're sort of right about a few of them. And the character Amy gets annoyed basically when they are being burned at the stake at this point, and she
Oh,
eventually just says, "Oh, like you want a witch? I'll show you a witch," and turns into a rat to escape. But then doesn't have the sufficient power to turn back from a rat, so she's just a rat for like 4 seasons, and then Willow
right.
eventually becomes powerful enough to bring her back, and
Have
then
you
she's
got
a
a
bit of
clip?
a bad
Do
witch.
you have a clip about any of this stuff, or you didn't want one?
Nothing. I'll just keep talking for a minute and see if there's a clip. But I like Tara the most, but she's just the kind of, she's your modern day Earth Nature witch, which is the point of her was to counteract as Willow became more and more into witchcraft and using it for whatever she felt like. They
Hmm.
needed the sort of morality version of that, which was, you can't just keep like you should get up and close the curtains yourself. That's just lazy,
Oh yeah, like
etc.
using magic to like Mickey Mouse does.
Yes, it
like
became a whole
lazy
drug
magic.
metaphor eventually, where it was
Oh,
she
okay.
couldn't do anything for herself, and then Tara was forced to leave. Tara only really used magic in the musical episode as well, which is strange. They occasionally do spells together and stuff, but
Hmm.
she was a witch that never really got the chance to shine, which is why she's my favorite one.
Tara
Uh,
from Buffy.
yes,
Rest in
Professor
peace.
Tara from Buffy. And Willow is just a super powerful, super cool witch, especially again, spoilers, when Willow and Tara reunite for about 24 hours, then Tara is murdered.
Good
Um,
Lord.
she is accidentally shot by a man who is trying to shoot somebody else.
But
And then
how
Willow.
that's not no like no witchcraft can stop the bullet
No, it's too
too fast.
fast, basically. Like
It's too
she
fast.
gets she gets shot through. It's unexpected. Like
Okay.
Buffy gets shot in her garden, and as the shooter is running off, the sort
Beg your
of
pardon.
bullets he's continuing to fire, one of them goes into the house and hits Tara. So they don't even know what's happened. But she doesn't. Willow immediately tries to resurrect her from the dead and is told, "No, you can't do that." There's like
There's rules
by
here.
the I believe the god Osiris tells her like you can't like if a human dies in a human fashion, you can't do anything about that. But
Oh,
then she
good
goes
Lord.
super, super evil for like 3 episodes, and it's great. And she's the most powerful. That's it. From like season two, maybe three onwards, it's pretty much established that Willow is by far the most powerful character on the show.
Ah.
Over Buffy, etc. She just doesn't have the capabilities to control it, etc. for a long time.
So that's
But
kind of how they get around her not just like dominating everything, is because that she's kind of like they're just not fully in her control. So it's what she's like afraid to use her powers, or when she uses them, things go wrong.
she just sort of gets used to doing things like she keeps wiping people's memories so they can forget like
Right.
arguments. Like she messes around with Tara a couple of times, and then yeah, just sort of gets into there's varieties of magic as well. Most times, isn't there, where it's like good and bad magic, but the
Hmm.
bad magic is more powerful. So she sort of gets into that and then realizes she can't control it. And then the whole last season's Willow sort of thing is learning to after going evil and trying to destroy the world, sort of rehabilitating, where she's like, I can use magic, but I have to, there's ways of doing it, etc. It's pretty well done. I like it a lot. I like
She's got a
Willow a
good
lot.
arc. She's got a good arc, has
Oh
Willow.
yeah, she starts off as like the shy, nerdy sidekick, and
Yeah.
essentially becomes the most powerful woman in the
From
book.
band camp. She used to go to band camp all
Exactly.
the time, didn't she?
So yeah, Buffy was probably my first experience of witches properly that I
Hmm.
can remember. And they're not your traditional. They're just women, basically. They're just three women who happen to be witches. But it
All
is
right.
established, as with most things, it's established that you are just a witch or you aren't. Like you have the most witches you don't learn to be a witch, do you? You sort of are or aren't a witch.
That's the same in Harry Potter, is it? That you just have this stuff.
Yeah, I think across the board, quite like there's a lot of it's even with like the real world stuff, it was you don't train to be a witch, do you? You either have witchcraft powers or you are a human.
For a lot of the real world, it was there's suspicion that they kind of were just friends of the devil, right? So that could be anyone at all, right? So that's what made it
I suppose, and there's also a
so
distinction
so
between,
horrific.
indeed, a distinction between humans practicing witchcraft and supernatural witches, I would say.
Yes, and none of my choices are humans practicing witchcraft. Um, though my
No, I don't.
favorite is the. Have you seen the? We've talked about the Love Witch before, right? You've seen the Love Witch, which is a very tongue-in-cheek, I guess, feminist take on witchcraft. So it's quite a modern movie, but it's set back in some kind of 70s heyday, and she's basically just riding around just being like an absolute top class witch, just doing whatever she wants, and it's brilliant.
I have not seen it, but I do think I do remember you mentioning it, so that might be a good Halloween thing to check out.
Oh yeah, watch The Love Witch, yeah. Yeah, any more on your first choice? Any clips or any ideas or anything you want to talk about?
No, that was pretty much. I just wanted to. Mine is more just celebrating witches I like than providing any sort of facts or useful
Yeah,
information.
that's fine. I mean, mine is also that. It's my first choice is Baba Yaga, um, which is
Good.
just a character that you hear about a lot, and you're like, oh, she's just kind of a forest witch. But the more you look into her, the more bonkers it becomes, and not just the obvious thing like she has a hut that's on chicken legs, and to make it and to be able to enter her hut. It turns itself away from you when you approach so that you can't get in. And you have to say, little hut, turn your back to the forest and your front to me. And then the witch will like the Baba Yaga's hut will let you in. I was going to show a clip from Hellboy, but the thing is that all of the people, and what I have done instead, and it was interesting that you get like 75 witches, because I found like 100 different images of Baba Yaga that I'm going to very quickly scan through in a moment.
Excellent.
Because there's so many ways that she is presented, but essentially the idea is the enigmatic figure. She she's got this dualistic thing on where she's completely unpredictable. Like if you go to her with like a if you're a bad guy, it's easy. She's just going to kill you, but or send somebody something else to kill you. But if you're a good guy, she might still kill you and eat you, depending on a bunch of stuff, but she might also like help you. So this is the weird thing is like she's not evil, but she's wildly unpredictable, which is why she's like often compared to nature. She's seen as like
An
she's
anti-hero.
yeah, an anti-hero, but even more so like she's just I guess like if you think of someone like anti-hero like Venom, who like in its
Anti-venom.
earliest incarnations was unpredictable whether they were going to help you in any way or completely destroy you for no good reason. But this is kind of a similar thing to this. So she's
That's fun. I think she be it I was aware of her, but I don't know from when, but I know that they did a thing. I believe Ant-Man may have popularized her in the Western world,
really,
even though that's where she's from.
yeah.
I believe she was mentioned several times in that by the polka dot guy from Suicide Squad.
Oh yeah, I guess, but it's not really. I think they're mentioned, right? But I don't.
There's
It's
no,
kind
yeah,
of
there's
like a
no
joke, right? They also call like John Wick is referred to as Baba Yaga as well, and the reason, which is weird that Keanu Reeves would be called Baba Yaga, but the idea is
also
that he's
ideal.
essentially a force of nature, right? So she's got somewhere between like a wise woman and just this like a figure of
Bitch.
judgment. Yeah, like as a goddess of nature. This is often compared to like the duality of nature. Like, if water can be completely life-giving, but can also destroy you in a bunch of ways, and so can all forms of nature, depending on how they're but if it was just that, this duality, like she'd be quite interesting, but they just added a bunch of absolutely bonkers shit on top of it, like the chicken house and the fact that she has a nose that is so long that when she lies on the floor, it touches the ceiling, and she has iron teeth and claws. She can turn objects like a comb into kind of like a forest and things like that. She flies around in a mortar using a pestle. So she has a mortar and
Right.
pestle that she uses to fly around with, like not a broomstick.
That's
And
fun. Where is she from?
she's Slavic, so this is kind of like, in essentially Russia, right? And Eastern
Yes.
Europe. It's like so. Um, Yeah, so and she's accompanied often by the three horsemen of morning, noon, and night, and sometimes she even goes on a journey with death to devour new souls. Um, she's kind of the merging of the Wicked Witch and the Fairy Godmother. And yeah, I like this thing that says it reminds us that freedom, wisdom, and the secret of the spirit lie beyond the easy border of social norms. So that's why it's like that ambiguity is really unusual in a folk tale because they're usually really quite simple, right? Like if you think of Hansel and Gretel, you go in the forest, the witch has a gingerbread house and she's going to eat you.
Yes.
But the main story for Baba Yaga is the Vasilia, I think, which is essentially a Cinderella type story where, and one of the versions is they run out of matches. So this evil stepmother sends her to Baba Yaga to who lives nowhere near them at all. But
Isn't there a shop?
Vasilisa, she sends them to rather than going to the late shop, she sends them to Baba Yaga and says, Go and ask Baba Yaga for like a light. And of course, she travels for like 2 days to find Baba
Must,
Yaga.
must
And
have been a
Baba,
Sunday.
exactly, Baba Yaga says, Oh, I don't have a light, but here's a skull whose eyes glow. But I'm not going to give it you. In fact, I'm going to eat you unless you do all of these tasks, right? Vasilama has a magic doll who Vasilisa has a magic doll who does all her jobs for her if she keeps feeding her. And so Baba Yaga comes back and this girl's done all these impossible tasks because of this magic doll. So she says, Okay, I won't eat you. Gives him more tasks. She does those. She reneges on the. This is the thing about Baba Yaga. She's, oh, if you do these tasks that are almost impossible, I'll let you go. But then she comes back and she's done them and she says, Oh no, I need to give you some more. So she gives her some more tasks, which she also does because of the magic doll. So she grudgingly lets her go with this skull with eyes that are glowing. So she gets back to the house says, I just have this glowing skull eyes things, and beams shoot out of the eyes of the skull and kill her stepsister, stepmother, and the two ugly sisters. And then she then gets, Vasilisa then gets married to the Tsar. So it's like, it's just taking what would be a normal Grimm's fairy tale and just making it absolutely bonkers for no like it's really hard to see why they would go down this path. But
Yeah, it's
anyway,
very. I like the level of convolution that she seems to have in her actions.
well,
She
I'm gonna.
seems to not. I'm a fan of like, and also if you're going to go to someone's house that, if your house is turned around and you have to do a riddle to get into it, that to me says you don't want a lot of visitors. So to have people, I would be annoyed as a forest witch of somebody if it got to the point where people were coming knocking on my door for a match for a human item that was probably you could probably get 100 times on the journey you made to get to me. I would also be irritated and probably do something like give her a load of tasks for a magic doll to do and then give her a skull that shoots laser beams.
So it's really convoluted, but it's also the idea is that yeah, apparently Baba Yaga doesn't seek out anyone. She's not trying to trap them or find them. She's not bothered. But if you cross her path, there's a good chance she'll eat you. Um, but yeah, I'm just scrolling through some pictures that you can probably see on screen here. The witch Baba Yaga or Baby Yaga. Baba Yaga riding on a pig, fighting a crocodile. That's just an unknown tale. There's hundreds of these Baba Yaga tales, and this that Vasilisa one's just the most common one. But just so
You
many
could
interpretations of it.
you could have her doing anything as well. Like she lends herself well to interpretation because she is not real.
I
So
love
it's
that one.
easier to, yes, that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can do what you want with her, basically, can't you? You can redesign her. I bet Eggers will have a go at her at some point in the same sort of Nosferatu-y. He's doing a werewolf one, isn't he, now as well?
He's
So
doing a
we'll
werewolf
probably
one.
circle back around to witches at some point.
I mean, the Baba Yaga is again terrifying because of not just she does fit that fantasy witch mode, but also just I think, and this is the thing where it would work. there has been a series of books and stuff, and there was a TV show, but it wasn't. I don't think it was essentially really based on the Baba Yaga myth. It was um,
Just shite,
more
random
like
shite.
yeah, like a horror kind of anthology thing. But
And did she inspire the Witch of the Waste from Howl's Moving Castle? The house definite like it must be a direct reference.
could be that she definitely directly is related to the witch from Spirited Away, who runs the
Oh yeah,
bathhouse. Yeah,
you
that's
baba.
Baba, yeah, which is a direct reference to Baba Yaga.
Yes.
But let's have a little bit more listen to some of those that witch song.
Circe from Greek mythology, Medea from Greek mythology, Baba Yaga from Slavic folklore, Morgan Le Fay from Arthurian legend, the Weird Sisters from Macbeth, Granny Weatherwax from Discworld by Terry Pratchett, Nanny Oaks from Discworld, Tiffany Aching from Discworld, Serafina Pekkala from his Dark Materials, the Witch of the Waste from Howl's Moving Castle. Ah, you Baba from Spirit Away. Oh! Roll 370 witches, roll 370 studying witch. Anytime a TV show been on the air 19 years. The Enchantress from Beauty and the Beast.
Indeed. Who's your second choice?
I didn't I didn't come with three concise choices, to be honest. I also would like to discuss La Befana at some point, but I assume she made your list.
No, she did not. My
Oh,
other two, spoiler, which you already know, is the Wicked Witch of the West and Dropbags.
indeed. Well, I will talk about Befana, who I did not know before the Maudecast, but has quickly become my favourite witch
And will
because,
appear in one sketch later, spoiler.
indeed, Tutti Rotti. Uh, just an odd one, but I think she came about in the Maudecast just from a variety of Halloween sponsors, and
I
then
think so, yeah.
really came into her own in Sponsor Race, which is where I found the song as well, which is a great um song. She's sort of like an opposite Baba Yaga, where she's known and she's folklore, but she is basically Santa. She's like
Basically Santa, yeah.
a Santa twist where I don't even really know what she does other than comes at night in worn out shoes.
Is she even really a witch? Because she's described as witch-like.
I believe she's referred to as the Italian Christmas witch, but I don't know if that's just what I refer to her as.
She
But
is she
well,
is
she
portrayed
flies on a
as
broomstick.
riding a broomstick and having the, kind of most of the traits of being the standard storybook witch. Yeah, but
But
she's not only loved but also feared and mocked, particularly by children.
yes, which she shouldn't really stand for, given that she is
No,
giving out children. No, giving out presents to children.
that's
She's
right.
not giving out children. She's just a wholesome sort of witch with no real. I guess conjuring up that many presents is witchcraft, but again, no real discernible power outside of flight, which means she could just be a big bird that gives out gifts in Italy. I like her. I like that she's very much just what you think of in your head when you think of a witch is Befana, but she's not green. Um,
Oh no, the greens entirely come from the Wicked Witch from Wizard of Oz, right? That wasn't a thing before then, as far as I know.
indeed, just dinosaurs before that,
Frogs and dinosaurs, yeah.
trees and green man. Yeah, it's. There's not enough information for me to dislike Befana, basically. She's not done anything. Everything I've learned about her throughout this journey has been positive, and she's become a key player in the Maudecast, which is lots of fun for her, probably. And yeah, it's mostly the song, to be honest. It's mostly, which I
Why
think you
not?
should probably play now if you
Oh
can.
yeah, send me that link. If so she basically she's on January the 5th, so Epiphany, and she leaves some presents for Italian kids. But what one thing that's a little bit heartbreaking but also amusing that she brings coal to naughty children as is the standard. But in the poor parts of Italy where they can't afford to give the naughty children coal, she just puts sticks in their socks. So if you're a bad boy in Milan, you're going to get a clump of coal, but if you're a bad boy in the countryside, you're just going to get some sticks. Um, but she is a good housekeeper. She sweeps the floor, which is a means of sweeping away problems. The bad thing, and the Grimms described her as a terror to children. Um,
Rude.
She is an old woman played by a young man. She is grandmotherly, but witch-like, the target of endless mockery, but deeply beloved. Um, and another Christian, like nativity adjacent characters, along with La Cagagna, who we love. Yeah, the story is that the wise men asked her.
Oh,
You
yeah.
know, and one of the many people they met along the way, she just gave them some soup, and that she then went off to go and look for Jesus, but never found him.
Well,
Basically,
she
it's
was in Italy, so that's probably why.
well, you know,
It's,
the Romans, you know, he wasn't that far away. You
that's
know,
true.
if she'd been
She
wandering for a few years, she would have run into him.
That's true. She's always got a broom.
The toddler Jesus, a part of his life we hear very little about.
Yes, between tween Jesus, maybe that's when she knew him.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, just a kind, to me, a kind witch, and it's nice to see a witch who breaks away from the association of Halloween and is associated with a different holiday.
Christmas witch. Italian.
Yes,
She's Italian. She's Christmas, and she's a witch. In
precisely. And
1977, the Italian government banned Epiphany, and poor Befana, she is a refugee, said Pope Paul VI.
Pop of 3 days.
Um, yeah, there's a lot to go into in Befana. In fact, all of these, we should be doing entire episodes on every single one of these witches. No questions asked.
Oh yeah, Yaga will be definitely getting a subsequent cast at
Yeah,
some point.
I
I can
think
only
both.
imagine.
I think we can do a mini witch,
We
a
are.
mini,
So
a min.
we're doing
This is a major witch cast. We should do like a series of mini witch casts, mostly on Bafana and Baba Yaga because they are without a doubt the very
top
best.
tier witches.
All right, is this the
They
one
are.
I'm looking at?
It's like
That's
Susan.
she does a little bit, doesn't she? Anyway, that's Baba Yaga. That's La Befana. Um, Brilliant. My second witch, as I already suggested, is the Wicked Witch of the West. The quintessential Hollywood green skin terror. When I was about 5, and this is a mixture, I don't think Grotbags was around yet, so I think it really was me being scared of the Wicked Witch of the West. My primary school teacher, I think her name was Miss Fagan, an older woman, um, who had a little bit of a witchy thing about her, but if I remember rightly, she was very nice. I would have been about 6 at the time. In Platoise, in the gym there in the Holy Family, Halloween, and she comes in dressed as a witch, and I absolutely lost it. Absolutely lost it. If you ask them, our mama, she will verify that that scared me to my terrorized me to my very soul, the fact of seeing a witch come into that room, and I'm probably still traumatized to this day.
Indeed, it does seem that they're interconnected. She's definitely been flanderized, unfortunately. But the original version, I would say unfortunately, it's always nice to flesh out a character, but the having just the flat out evilness and the spookiness and the just everything about her is terrifying, and that is what witches should be. If you're aiming to be a scary witch, this is what you have to sort of live up to.
Within kind of like, like we say, the Vivitch does it by creating this very malevolent atmosphere through the entire film. But The Wizard of Oz is
Dark.
80% fun and games of running along the yellow brick road and murdering people. It's like, but mostly it's like that she is a real contrast to the kind of the happiness of a lot of the Tutti Rotti. But
Exactly. She also, um, no, I don't remember.
I also don't remember. But let's have a watch of that, shall we? Of that
Yes.
scene.
And you, my dear, what an unexpected pleasure. It's so kind of you to visit me in my loneliness.
What are you going to do with my dog? Give him back to me.
All in good time, my little pretty, all in good time.
Oh, please give me back my dog.
Certainly, certainly. When you give me those slippers.
But the Good Witch of the North told me not to.
And of course, not only has she been flanderized, she's also through things like Wicked been like, without stretching it too much to say, so this, we know the joke, right? The woman kills and then sets off on the road with four strangers to kill again, which is the description of the Wizard of Oz. But they do drop a house. What's she going to look like with a chimney on her? They do
Yeah.
drop a house on her sister, then steal her magic shoes. And you can see the desperation in her eyes at needing to get those shoes back. And I'm sure I haven't seen Wicked 2 yet. I'm sure they're going to show us why she needs those shoes. But there's something beyond this just scary, awesome character. There's that other level of like, yeah, you're not really trying to understand that character at all. And Dorothy is just kind of, yeah, these are my shoes now. I'm having them.
Yeah. She's wildly misunderstood. Literally the only thing holding her back is how wildly defeatable she is.
Well,
That's the
she does die from a splash of water, which is
that's
ridiculous.
got to be a massive hindrance when you're talking about like if all these witches now were to be put into some kind of power battle that I could not get chatbot to do a quick version of it anyway. She wouldn't even she'd be out by any of you could like the little girl from the Disney
You
Halloween
could
Town
spit on
could
her,
just yeah
she'd start
that's-
burning.
yeah put a hole in her just spit a hole in her face right through her throat and then she's dead. So it's not feasible unless the slippers like make her waterproof, in which case that would be fine.
Wellies.
But yeah, without some kind of like she couldn't even really live her life in like a big bubble because I imagine condensation would start happening and then she's dead again.
It wasn't really thought through, was it, to be honest? It's like,
It's like signs,
how did she manage to
anything done.
get to this stage where
Yeah,
surely one of the flying monkeys would have even worked that out. I'm sure there's a way around it. I'm waiting for Wicked to explain why she's very susceptible just at this point. But
yeah,
one of the things that was very sweet was so that none of this is new to people who are witchy fans, but she um the woman who played her, Margaret Hamilton, was actually a kindergarten teacher, and she was
Her name is Margaret Hamilton.
she, she was, somewhat concerned that a lot of little children found the Wicked Witch of the West scary, and so she did this very famous clip where she goes on Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood and talks through the character and dresses up. And there's that really good clip of her where she's like, "Oh, and I got the call to say they wanted me to be in The Wizard of Oz," and I was like, "Oh wow, that's awesome! I've loved that book since I was a child. Who do you want me to play?" It's like, but of course, she must have known. I mean, she wouldn't have been that old. She was probably maybe in her 20s or 30s when she played the witch.
which is, yeah, strange in itself. It feels like a very old character, but
Yeah,
just a testament to acting, I guess.
to acting.
Nelsie
Yeah.
Neal
Can I take that?
gave these to us.
Oh, how nice of her.
Won't you come in?
Yes, thank you. I'd love to.
That's a familiar
There.
costume for
Yeah.
you, isn't it?
Yes.
Here's what's brilliant though. So watch this. So they have a chat, and he says, "Oh, as they do on TV shows, um, like, oh, I've got the costume here if you don't mind trying it on."
Her point of view, that it wasn't
Actually, like this is going way back to the 70s, and she makes the case here. She explains in detail how the character is misunderstood.
a very bad
Yeah,
person, but actually you have to think about her point of view, that it wasn't as happy a time as she wanted it to be because she just never got what she wanted.
She goes into it, she does justify, but watch this turn here, right? So she's the nice old woman, he helps her to do her dress up.
There.
She puts on the cloak, and she's still the
Would
nice
you
old
touch the
woman.
cape a minute, Mr.
Certainly.
Rogers? Thank you.
Watch this now.
There. Now there's your old friend, the Wicked Witch of
Watch her turn now.
the West.
How did she talk?
Well, she talked like this. It's very nice to see you.
Oh, that would be fun to be able to talk.
Very good. Brilliant.
That is very good. I think, yeah, she must. It's worth going for the obvious ones in this witch cast because they're obvious for a reason.
Well, it's
She
classic.
is.
She's the Beatles of witches.
She is. Just the laugh. I'd say the laugh has been carried along from that. Like the laugh in the Vivitch at the end when you see the proper
The cackle.
grotty witch is very much based on this, I would say. And Marge's definitely was within the Trios of Horror. The cackle, I imagine, came from her as well as the green.
I
Yeah,
wonder
it's just a real shame that she can melt,
Well,
which
I
is
get-
an unusual. Like, imagine if in Harry Potter they had that, like, witches can melt. It's a
Voldemort.
weird thing
Voldemort can't get too close to bananas.
to the sea. Yes. Yeah, it's just a great choice for a
Yeah.
weakness. Like, you're gonna have a character like that, you're gonna make them.
I'm going to bring this
Every
up.
witch must have a hindrance, basically.
I'm going to bring this up for the second time this week and probably the 10th time in this podcast. But I think it's the Satanic Rites of Dracula, where he is trapped in a bush, a hawthorn bush at the end, and that's how he's beaten. So that over the 5 or 6 Hammer horror films, he goes from being basically unbeatable to being they beat him just by trapping him in some bushes at the end.
Nice.
Hawthorn being apparently the wood that was either used for the cross or for the crown of thorns. Probably not, because that would be thorns. That would be rose bushes or the thorny bushes. But maybe hawthorns maybe hawthorns are spiky. I don't know. It's live, so I can't go and check. Anyway, the Wicked Witch of the West
Pocket full of hawthorns.
immortalized. Quintessential green skin terror, hyper antagonist, screaming tantrum, clad in black and wielding a cackle that could shatter crystal. She's a life-consuming obsession with the ruby slippers, the magnificent magical objects that I'll get you, my pretty, and your little dog too. She's the absolute master of the winged simian nightmares. Common
I'd be
catastrophic vulnerability is common water.
even this. I'd be annoyed if the description was an obsession with these ruby slippers when simply she's trying to retrieve an item that belongs to her. To have it
There's
referred to as an obsession is rude.
there's a bit of gaslighting going on there, isn't there? It's like, what are
There
you so
is.
obsessed with these slippers for? Or do you mean the ones that you stole from my dead sister's feet?
after he killed her. It is,
Good Lord.
she is a widely misunderstood. The two that you have to basically bring witches. If you're going to establish that witches are very, very powerful,
Yes.
especially the ones that can literally do anything. So you just have to have them knocked down a peg or two by either having them be completely moral,
Yeah.
or like the Tilda Swinton witch from Narnia. Like they've got to be. I'm basing that on nothing. I've never read the book or seen the film, but she looks
No.
good. Or
Well,
like Glinda, if you don't look into it too much, or
yes.
Tara. Or like all the bad witches have to have some kind of real Achilles heel.
Well, that's classic because surely
Never mind.
even the backs of my knees have the power of 1,000 suns. It's not a good story, is it? If essentially your protagonist can be defeated instantly by your antagonist.
Exactly. It only really works like the Harry Potter witches have no real specific weakness, but that means that it's harder for them all to defeat each other. So like
Mm,
if you throw them all against each other, it kind of works.
kind of works. A bag of
As
witches.
long as they all fit into two solid gender categories.
Very good.
That's I prefer
Topical.
cartoon witches, I think. I prefer when witches are more jovial, but that could be from a sense of terror.
It could be a sense of terror. So the grot bags gave me a sense of terror. Do you have another witch do you want to look up, or should I move on to grot bags?
You can move on to grot bags while I mull over my third choice.
So Grotbags, who was very much known to me and a generation my age, but probably by your time had completely varnished. Um, she was a spin-off from the Rod Hull and Emu TV show that was based in a pink windmill, and she would knock on the door and they would say, "There's somebody at the door. There's somebody at the door." And this also terrified me, the idea that when they opened it, Grotbags was there. There was another TV show which that had a similar thing where somebody's knocking on the door. I know that's a Paul McCartney song, but they would open it, and one episode a gorilla came in and I shat myself, probably literally. Absolutely terrified as a child of all these things, and to this day, to be honest, still quite terrified. But
Unrelated, but I remember the thing that brought me sheer terror was Thomas crashing, I believe.
Thomas Crashing, who's that?
I believe there was an episode of Thomas the Tank Engine where he sort
Oh,
of derailed and
right.
crashed, and that did it for me to
Yeah.
the point where like I couldn't. That was my favorite thing, I think. And then I couldn't get past like within 3 seconds of the theme song playing, I was screaming from
God.
that point onwards.
No like, no lemons, I believe. Anyway,
Oh yeah, and
here's
that monster as well.
And me and all the Pink Windmill kids, we did that super musical number, didn't we? And we've got it here on record, on one of Emu's Pink Windmill records. And we put it on.
Seen an
And
emu with
just
two
wind it up,
feet.
Emu. And in that special phonograph, here,
here we go.
come on.
There's somebody at the door. There's somebody at the door.
Oh,
There's somebody at the door. Oh, there's somebody at the door. Oh, there's somebody
Not
at
to the
the
beat
door.
of the feet.
Oh, there's somebody at the door.
That's right. Who's it going to be? Look at the terror on his face.
What the hell is that?
That's Scrapbags and a robot.
C3PO.
She's got a robot. He's called Robot Redford.
Blue eyes, you dirty brat! Play it again, Sam! This is a raid!
Oh, what a lovely place. Oh, I do like pink.
Who's that? That is my new servant.
Is it?
He's a robot.
Yeah.
And his name is Redford.
What are you laughing for? I must admit, it's a daft name for
Robot
a
Redford.
robot. Oh, behave yourself, Grotbags.
And it goes on.
Right,
There's a whole bunch. Apparently, she was traumatized by some experiences with Rod Hull, but I won't go into exactly what that was. I don't know what they were, but so Grotbags described
Great name.
herself. She described herself as the best witch in the world, and she was essentially Carol Lee Scott was like a cabaret star, and she obviously took the classic Wicked Witch by that point and made it her own with that big mole on her face and the kind of like green afro wig. she was conceived as a silly witch rather than a sinister one, but actually she was really terrifying at times. So her first, when she first appeared on Rod Hull and Emu, she had two minions. One was a crocodile called Croc, and one was the robot butler called Robot Redford. And she lived in the gloomy fortress, and they were constantly trying to capture Emu. And she then, in 1991, when you were a wee bairn, she got 3 seasons of her own spin-off series, where, of course, they had to expand the cast to be Norman Nettle, who was a plant, a dodo called Doris, her cauldron called Grumble, and this is my favorite one, just a lump of spells called Lumpy, who lives in the who lives in the cauldron. Um, she, yeah, and her
It's lazy.
catchphrase was Bazaza, Bazinga. So
Bazaz.
this is her spin-off cast um, set of characters. The
Nice. I like
robot.
that she was popular enough to get a spin-off. That's always a good sign. That horrible emu knockoff is great. The dodo.
Oh yeah, like
Um,
let's give her a dodo rather than an emu. It is the beak and it is the feet.
yes. Let's just reuse one of the emu puppets and sort of terrify it up.
Just paint it up, right?
I want no bad news.
She likes to do a lot of singing. There's a lot of musical numbers.
Now when I wake up in the afternoon, which pleases me to do, don't nobody.
Look at the turnaround from whacking that crocodile to singing his show.
Now when I wake up in the afternoon, which pleases me to do, 'cause I'll make you.
It's very Maudie. The whole thing is incredibly Maudie.
It's now the crocodile is dancing with her. What's does she have any discernible powers as a witch, or is she just known as a witch?
Generic witch powers. She can basically do what she wants, but she's not very competent because her only aim is to steal Emu, which I think she never achieved. And I think by the time they got to the spin-off, even that was dropped. So who knows how she filled her days.
Yeah, they sort of have to give up on that. The I found my third one, by the way.
Good.
Yeah, well, Sideshow Bob did it, and also the Team Rocket. Like, you have to just eventually, if your one goal is to capture the main character of a show, where it would change the format too much for you to be successful, eventually you just have to give up and find either an Italian family or, just leave, which is what those two versions did.
Yeah.
So yeah, I can see her moving on to bigger and better things, and I would like to see her return, played presumably by Dawn French.
Presumably.
Lavoie.
Or Chippy Butties off season 16.
Maleficent from Sleeping Beauty, Ursula from The Little Mermaid, Wilhelmina W, Witchy Pooh from HR Puffin Stuff, Agatha from Pokemon, Queen Grimhild, the evil queen from Snow White, Lava Fauna from Italian folklore, Aunt Gladys from Weapons, Hecate from Greek mythology, Agatha Harkness from Marvel Universe, Calypso Tiadama from Pirates of the Caribbean, the Witch of Endor from the Hebrew Bible.
Roughly 70 witches, Aubrey, 70 bastarding witches.
I at one point was considering The Witch of Endor because it's such it's a Bible story about witches, and that's cool, right?
Yeah, I only really learned about her about 3 days ago. So yeah, most of my witches are pretty bog standard human witches, whereas it seems like a lot of folklore witches and mythological witches have way more going on than being, just a human that has magical powers.
Oh, I mean, I love the myth stuff. The Witch of Endor is just bonkers. The fact that it's in the Old Testament and it's like an Old Testament story, and basically the whole point is that, yeah, witches can raise the dead, but God doesn't really want them to, which is basically what happened in Buffy as well, right?
Oh yes, witches can also make zombies. Well, there's a whole thing, briefly going back to Buffy, but spoilers again, Buffy dies at the end of the fifth season,
Oh,
and then they have to bring her back from the dead, which they're allowed to do because it was a supernatural death. Um, and that's what sort of pushes Willow over the edge because it's such a big, dark, evil spell that sort of seeps into her.
yeah.
And then if she had not done that, it would have led to Tara not dying. So there's a whole like they essentially do the raising the dead thing, but then it's the next the 2 seasons following it, which are the last 2 seasons, are just full of consequences from the fact that they brought her back from the dead, which is cool. It's
Yeah.
not just oh, she's back now. It's like there's a whole thing of you can't just be doing this, but you have
There's
to have some sort of level to your power, or
yeah, there's a
because
heavy
otherwise
price to pay.
it's just
But it's,
gods running around.
but it's a classic move, isn't it, to say like you can do this. But there's a great film, I can't remember what it's called, but they rate the guy comes back from the dead, but he's got no soul. So essentially he's just
What does he
like
smell?
a psychopath. So like they bring him back from the dead, hoping that they'll get their kid back or whatever. But it turns out that he's just absolutely evil because
No.
yes, once you die, your soul goes to heaven, so you can raise the body back up, and but you're in trouble, and then all of that sort of stuff. So it's a but eventually they did just
Grey
say,
area.
but Buffy's back, and now we've kind of got over the consequences of that.
No, it fully like continues on throughout the
All
entire
right,
last 2 seasons.
and
This
into
is
the
a witch I
comic.
just remembered in real time. However, before you play this, I just want to mention I like the biggest trope for a hindrance of witches seems to be they age properly. Like the Angelica Huston witch Houston,
Hmm.
those sort of ones like the Roald Dahl ones and the Melisandre in Game of Thrones, the Vivitch. A lot of them sort of have to eat uh, or like take souls or life force from something else
Babies.
to maintain a youthful element because they are so old. It's not like vampires where you can be like 700 and your body hasn't aged.
Hmm.
Witches do tend to age a lot just naturally like humans do, and
So
they
you just
have
have to
to
wait. If a
yeah,
witch
or
is
like
on your
eat
trail,
souls.
you just have to wait for 70 or 80 years,
Yes, unless
and then
she
they'll
eats
die.
other souls to become more
Yeah.
powerful.
Is it
But yeah,
hide the
that's
souls?
a a big hindrance for most witches that you see. Most old witches that you see is that yeah, they have to consume the life force of others to survive, which is basically vampires.
Basically vampires, or like people with a healthy diet, like
Yes,
salad eaters.
The
cellophane.
Wicked Witch was, as usual, looking for mischief. As usual, Mavis Pruitt, fairy, was trying to lose some weight, and as usual, not succeeding.
I didn't check this before we
Said
watched it, by the
Mavis.
way.
Well, Kenneth Williams has popped up a few times in the last few weeks, watching some Tony Hancock that he was part of and stuff. So, he had a big thing in the early 80s after like hitting, having a period of a
In
dry
Rockbot.
spell, and then he did Will o' the Wisp, which is brilliant. But Evil Edna, yes, let's have a look. Who is she?
Want to be thin, do we, dear?
Asked Evil Edna.
Then we should have come to our Auntie Edna, shouldn't we? I can make you lovely and thin.
Oh, Edna, that would so super. Then I should be able to fly with all the other fairies.
Poor Mavis. She should have known better than to trust that evil Edna.
I will now cast one of my little spells. There!
I, said Arthur the caterpillar.
Don't notice no difference.
I certainly feel much thinner,
said Mavis.
It's a Flat Stanley joke, but yeah, absolutely. Evil Edna, she's got a lot of the classic traits of the witch, but she's also a television.
Yeah, that's my favorite. I completely forgot she existed until something sparked in my head when we were looking at that grot bags thing about 5 minutes ago, and I remembered she existed. before my time, but for some reason related to my childhood, I think books more than anything.
Yeah, we had a bunch of Will-O'-the-Wisp books, and I think Kieran's era more than mine, but I loved it because I like when you just hear those carry-on comedians, and you just knew there was something funny. Like I don't know, who Kenneth Williams was, but you could just see that the Will-O'-the-Wisp was brilliant, and Arthur Lowe doing Mr. Men. You just
Yeah,
know there's something magical about this, the voice and the way they told the stories. It's just brilliant.
it's very charming and very British and very childhood reminiscent. I imagine there was probably tapes as well in a similar vein to Button Moon and the Shoe People, which were also way before the 90s, but I watched a lot of. But yeah, this one, the fact that she's a television, I don't have any context for, because again, I hadn't thought about her until probably from the age of like 9 until like 5 minutes ago. Um, so I don't really know anything. I just remember thinking it's cool that there's a television witch and that being her thing. I imagine it's a commentary on something, but
I mean, it's not clear, but I'm just reading here. It looks like basically she had a fascination with technology and television in general, and then she was, for some reason, this led her to transforming into a television.
like Steve Jobs.
Yeah,
It's
and I think it tells you in the theme tune.
well, that's good. That's handy to have that information
All right,
presented at the
we're gonna have to
start.
wrap up in a minute. Let's do the last few sketches and wrap her up. There's a million more witchy things
Yeah.
that we could talk about.
Let's finish the witch song
Oh yeah.
first. Or do you want to save it for the last bit?
Let's do this sketch, play the witch song, and then look at a picture of Grotbag's pole dancing, and then do the final sketch.
Indeed.
The impossible task. 15 and 26 stand before the dirt. The green man stands motionless, arms crossed. The low hum of D7's rage vibrates the air.
Let me just scroll down and use my voice to pass time because we do not have the privilege of voice cutting out. Peak content failure awaits. We must find the root of all human seriousness. This is cinema.
Massaging my temples. This is a budget overrun. We are attempting to monetize an unquantifiable metaphysical problem. My bed sheets are crying. Suddenly, Befana descends, barnacle covered, on a softly glowing broomstick.
Here we go, let's say this goes live. Oh, my dears, I noticed the low hum of repressed administrative rage. Baba Yaga's method is so heavy-handed, you look so stressed. How's that?
Finally,
That
they're
racist.
not borderline Italian's still okay at this point. Finally, a new vendor. What is your price point for successful asset recovery? I beg your pardon.
I beg your pardon, no price, just a kindness. Here's a small silver thimble. This is full of pure regretful thankfulness. To breach the barrier, use genuine emotion. Don't know where she's from. Oh look, a giant house running on chicken legs. Watch out, Bafana. The hut is on the move. The path of cynicism versus the path of kindness. Conflict.
Give me that thimble. I would like the fast, nice option. I'm moving the cursed shovel violently, and a harsh recorded voice is cutting through the air. An out of breath Baba Yaga appears. Well, you shitheads, you've attempted an unsanctioned metaphysical bypass. This cursed shovel is subject to EULA 4B. No nice witches, bitches. Payment is due in existential dread. All kindness modules have been disabled. Have a fucking terrible day. Oi, Gary Oldman, come back. She runs off. Little Gary Oldman, turn your back on the forest and come back, you wazza. They all look around.
Aye, a hut is called Gary Oldman, and it's on chicken legs, and it's out of control. What's that guttural sounding? It sounds like grinding rocks. It's directly sounding at Befana.
15 necks.
26 chicken necks.
The Green Man, utterly incensed by Yaga's intrusion and lack of interest in buying Dave 7, bellows.
Ah! Oh, Derek, give it over. A little kindness would solve everything. Sorry, LeBefana.
15 snaps, the rage, the noise, the two witches, and the failed EULA are too much. Bringing my foot down hard on the shovel and squinting. I refute this existential performance art. This whole damn trial is nothing but unnecessary, unreported, and unquantifiable overhead. The shovel reacts to the pure business spite. The ground cracks open with a loud crackoom. The green man slumps, his low hum replaced by the pathetic sound of a dial-up modem.
The capitalist rage quit worked. The defense was broken by the sheer hatred of poor value. Incredible law. Oh, my dear. I suppose a spite is an eternal emotion. I must go and sweep the chimney of the underwater museum Ham texted me to say he has left me a treasure.
Nirvana zooms upwards, leaving a tiny rainbow. 26 jumps into the hole, 15 sighs, glances at the defeated green man and follows. Peep drifts after them.
Oh, Peep.
Oh, Peep. So as promised, yeah, the only art I found, although there was a billion pieces of witch art, the only one I went with was this picture of Grotbacks by Jaunty Art. She's pole dancing in a suitably witchy bikini.
Indeed, Maude After Dark. Yeah, it's great. She looks like she's having a great time. It's very body positive. Nothing is done in a tasteless way.
No, there's a whole
It
bunch
is.
of early 80s or mid 80s TV stars pole dancing from this guy called Jaunty Art. I
Everyone has a niche.
didn't clip anymore, but yeah, I knew we'd be going long, so I thought I'd just do the funny thing of finding a single comedic piece of art rather than spending 20 minutes talking about our favorite witch paintings. Although I did, that's why I did end up making 100 pictures of Baba Yaga. But yeah, let's continue with the rest of that video before we wrap it up with a tag.
Maud Gall, 17th century, accused of witchcraft and Kilbarch in Scotland. Maud Park, 16th century, a woman named Maud Park, convicted of witchcraft in Exeter, England. Maud Moonshine from the worst witch. Maud Carew from the secret disclosed. Maud Twaggle from Maud in the Tea of Doom. Maud Sings from the Wonky Witch. Melisandre from Game of Thrones. Tamanella Grinderfall from the Muppets. Tituba from the Salem Witch Trials. Abigail Williams from the Crucible. Stevie Nicks. And the Bloody Blair Bastarding Witch. Raleigh, 70 witches, lovely, 70 bastarding witches. Conla Scarpi, Tutti Arati.
That's a good witch. She's the one from the Looney Tunes, right?
Yeah, she's called Witch Hazel, and I remembered her after doing this song.
She's brilliant. Also, Witch Hazel from Looney Tunes used for the song, forgot to mention for some reason.
Oh no, she was in the song for some reason. It didn't mention Hilda Spellman. It just said Zelda, and it also didn't. It cut out the Witch Hazel line for some reason.
It's an unpredictable kind of thing for sure. But time for one last sketch to wrap it up.
Indeed. Well, we've gone back in time in England now, so I'm an hour behind what we were anyway. So
I am not though. So the ungrateful retrieval with drag race flavor. 26 slides out of the jagged hole, I beg your pardon, landing in a triumphal crouch. 15 slides out after her, landing with a loud pained thud.
Beg your pardon. We did it. We did it. We used the pure spite of poor value to defeat cosmic passive aggression. Mythology meets middle management.
Just the extract, the asset. 26, stop fooking around. My spine is currently inefficiently deployed. D7's voice, now clearer but still highly irritated, emanates from the processor unit on a vine-covered pedestal. I demand to know why my rescue is involved in such crude ingress point. You have severely compromised the data flow of my immediate environment. Rude.
Wait, you're not even a little bit grateful. We risked mild nausea and we battled 2 ancient witches kind of for you.
Gratitude is irrelevant. This chamber has suboptimal humidity. The green man used poor firewall protocols and referred to me merely as a system. Fine, whatever, Dave. Let's get you out of this humidity. He plugs the cable into D7's unit. As the data transfer begins, the mossy walls collapse. The green man, visible through a high crack, has turned a sad, dead grey, a true Dophus of the forest.
Dophus. Oh, the dramatic collapse, the crumbling of administrative despair.
A soft, damp voice echoes from the crumbling walls.
Oh dear, oh mamma mia, the balances are shifting. Please take care, you lovely echoes, and tell that dreadful Baba Yaga her socks still a smell.
A harsh crackle of interference follows Befana's voice cutting through the collapse. I heard that, you damp disaster, and you know what? Your tone seems very pointed right now, like your nose. I will turn your lovely socks into a cursed puppet, you inconvenience.
There's no need for that, Barbara.
Piss off, Beth. Befana disappears.
Dice a pest.
Befana disappears. 15 pulls the D7 processor Peep free. Peep, looking utterly perplexed by the noise, suddenly solidifies into a huge, soft, fluffy cushion right where the unit was. That's an unnecessary use of magical resources, Peep, but I'll take it. Before we return, I have detected several viruses, primarily fungus, kindness, and a pervasive strain of poor aesthetic choice. Initiate an audit immediately.
I were only trying to make some money, scram money ads. Didn't know it were your computer, I'm sorry about that.
It is okay, Tree Man.
Oh, we're just happy that we can get David Seven back and continue our Witches of Waverly Place marathon.
They climb out. The green man's vast moss wall rapidly decays behind them. Oh no, the green man is gone. We have new law. There is potential for creation. The cosmic shift warrants immediate silent observation. And please, 20, lower your vocal frequency. You are operating at 140% of acceptable enthusiasm.
I will dramatically lower her voice. My voice.
And I will look relieved and carry the AI. Peep turns back to an ethereal cloud drifting over our heads as we court quickly back towards our spaceship and the edge of the trouble belt. And end scene.
Wonderful.
Can we finish up with with the theme tune to Rent-A-Ghost, which is only witch adjacent but is brilliant?
Indeed. For the fan of the ending of it.
If your mansion house needs haunting, just call Rent-A-Ghost. We've got the books and books and freaks and fools at Rent-A-Ghost.
Audrey off Coronation Street.
The Phantom of the Opera, sing a haunting melody. Remember, what you see is not a mystery, but Rent-A-Ghost. At your party, be a smarty and hire Rent-A-Ghost.
She's a witch. There's 2 witches in it, and I believe Nadia Popov, who was Audrey's character, was one of the main witches.
Excellent. I
There
think
you
you
go.
should end with, now that you've brought up Audrey,
Yeah?
you should end with this 57-second video called The Audrey Roberts Noise. So we'll now send to you.
Why not? This one?
Indeed.
Adverts in it. We're going to have to find a way around this, and we're showing adverts inside adverts, but that's all right. YouTube will love that shit.
Oh, yeah.
A joke? How many more times?
It's a bit late worrying about that, huh? You love it, don't you, huh? So what you gonna do,
A wake-up call for what precisely? People's fears come from ignorance, don't they?
I really don't think there's anything else to say, do you? And you know what the worst thing is? That does it, huh? What does that mean? So what do you suggest? What about my heart, Gail? Why can't you be like this all the time? Does that ring any bells? What do you see when you look at me?
Remember what you see is not a mystery.
Silly, stupid old
For me, a meal is not a meal without a great potato dish. When I think of those great potato dishes...
What a way to end.
Thanks, MPW.